everyone, it's Di here with Di's Den, and welcome to our first video for November. Wow, where's the time going? This week I'm going to make this card. I'm not going to make it as a Christmas card because I've done two. This was my original one, and it pulls up like this. You just hold the ribbon and just pull it up like so, and it stands on its own like this. So you can actually see how it goes. Now I did this one in Early Espresso as my colour creation blog hop at the beginning of October. So I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was the beginning of October, or it was the last in September. I'm not 100% on that. My mind's not with it with those. But we're going to make this card, but we're going to do it with one of our favourites. Adventurous Skies. Whoa, everybody loves that card, that set. So let me pop these on the one side for a moment. Stay there, and I'll show you what we're going to be using. So we're going to be using this set. I'm using the Happy Birthday, You're the Best Plain and Simple, this large plain here, which I've already stamped and cut out, and this cloud. And I'm going to be doing that with Memento Black, Balmy Blue and Mossy Meadow. So let me show you what you need, and it's really not a real lot, believe it or not. This is my bit that I cut my aeroplane out of. So if you want to do the same card, you'll need a piece that's probably about 5 inches by 2.5 inches to get it out nicely, so I can pop that in the bin. So this is what we're going to need. Alright, so let's go through it. So we need a main card that is going to measure 5 3/4 inches by 8 1/4. Now if you're in America and you've got 8 1/2, that's fine. Just leave it at 8 1/2. It will still work. Okay, then for our front panel, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 5/8 by 3 7/8 of an inch. Then for my front panel that goes on the very front, let me bring this card in so you can see. Oh, come here. This card here has these 2 panels here. So you're going to need a piece that measures 4 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then another piece in white or whatever colour, but you want a light colour for your messaging on the front. So this is 3 by 4, and then I've got my aeroplane to sit on top of that, and I've done this in Mossy Meadow and Soft Sea Foam. For the stand, you're going to need a piece that measures 5 1/2 by 4 inches, and then for my insert you'll need a piece that measures 5 3/8 by 3 3/4 and 5 1/8 by 3 1/2. You're also going to need a hole punch, which I've got here, which is 1/8 of an inch is the best to get the ribbon through. And then you're going to need a piece of ribbon that measures approximately 20 inches. You will be trimming a bit off, but it just makes it easier to try and tie the knot with. And then whatever you want to embellish it with. You're going to also need, oh, this is right up there, some double-sided tape. So let me pop that card out their way again, and we'll bring in our bits and pieces as we go. So when, oh, I thought that was ink on there. So I'm going to score these. God, I had a mental break then. I'm going to score both of these pieces at the same time. So bring in my scoreboard, and we're going to score our main card, which is this 5 3/4 by 8 1/4 at 4 inches using the small ball because we're using cardstock, and 8 inches. And while we've got that here, the only other bit of scoring we're going to do is the stand, which is the piece that measures 5 1/2 by 4 inches, and we're going to score that down the middle on the short side at the 2-inch mark. So this is scored on the long end, and this one's scored on the short piece. Okay, so let's pop them out of the way. and we can start on our card. So we're going to start by folding and burnishing all these score lines, making sure that it's nice and even at the top and bottom, and then fold this one inwards too. So we're then going to pull that out again, and what we're going to do is we're going to put tape, the double-sided tape. So you'll need 1/4 of an inch tape along this edge. Like so. Now I like to press mine down because it actually glues a lot better if you press that down. Now what we're going to do, it doesn't matter whether you've got this, well, you want this to be on your right hand side. So, and then we need to put another piece of this tape along the bottom up to that score line, like so. Oops, let's pop that out of the way. And we'll press that down like that. So once we've done that, we can now take the top tape off of the bottom one and fold this one in like so. And then we can take the top one off very carefully. If I can get my finger under it, there we go. And then we're going to bring this one over on top of that. Make sure we've got nothing hanging out the end, like I had a little bit of hanging out the end there. And bring that over so it sits on top of that and makes a nice little pocket. So we can make sure that that's down nice and hard on both of those sides. Okay, so we want this to be, so it doesn't matter if it's on the left or the right, it really doesn't matter. Well, now we're going to bring in our hole punch, and we're going to use our, I've got to see which side it's on, this one, 1/8 of an inch side, and along this top where we've got an opening, we're going to, you can do this with a pencil if you wish, because this is 2 inches across. Just put a pencil mark at the 2-inch mark in the middle, like so. That way you know you've got it in the middle, or you can eyeball it. And we're going to bring this in and punch that hole in the middle of that, like so. Once we've done that, we're now going to bring in our DSP layer and pop on top of it like this. Now you'll notice that this DSP layer has only got a very tiny bit around the edge, and the whole idea of that is because that's all I wanted. You make this too thick and you will find that it just doesn't pull through as nicely. Pop that one on the top. Now if you've got a directional paper, you do have to make sure that you get it in the portrait style. Okay, then we're going to turn it over and we're bringing back in our hole punch, and we're going to line that up again so we can actually punch through that. If you've got a really heavy punch, you can probably punch through the 3 layers, but you want to run the risk of actually damaging your punch, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to pop this one on one side for a minute, and we're going to bring in our stand, and we're going to give that a fold and burnish along that line there, so like so. And then it doesn't matter whether it's the top, the left or the right, it really doesn't matter, it depends on which way you want to put it on. We're just going to measure this at 1/2 inch on one of those sides. Just put a little mark there like so, like this, right, and we're going to bring in our trimmer, or you can do this by eye if you want. I'm going to do it with my trimmer, and I'm going to trim from that mark that we made there down to the score line. Just like that, just that tiny little bit off the end. Just get my thingy, that's got a bit of a burr on that, there we go. And then what we're going to do too is we're actually going to mark this at about 1/4 of an inch, or no, sorry, 1/2 an inch, where's my 1/2 inch mark, 1/2 inch down from the folded edge So we've got to mark at the folded edge, 1/2 inch down, and we're just going to go turn it the other way and go a 1/2 inch in. Where's my pencil? My goodness, where's my pencil? There we go. Alright, 1/2 inch in like so, and we're going to just chop that tiny bit off there like so. And if you've got a little bit showing, just use your eraser to remove those marks, which I'll do because we don't want them shown. Okay, so once we've done that, we've now got a little piece out of one side. Let me pop this down this way so you can see. Out of one side and a V at the top. The reason for the V at the top is when we put this on here like so, we want to be clearing this hole here. And the reason for this at the bottom is so that it stands properly. So now we're going to, on the side that's flat on the bottom, we're going to put glue onto this section. My glue's, it's a warm day today and the glue's pouring out a little bit. Never mind. We just pop him in the middle of that piece. Like so. Then we're going to line this up with the bottom and the side. So it's lined up along this bottom edge and this side edge, and that's the side with that is flat. Once we're happy with that, we can pop that down nice and hard. We can fold that back, and we know that this card is then going to stand up like so. So that's really the reason we do that. So that's a different kind of stand to what I normally do, but that particular stand, I'm going to put the pin in this glue because it's oozing again. So that's that particular stand. Oops, I've got a little bit of glue on my finger then. Right, so what did I do with the ribbon? It fell on the floor, would you believe? Oops. Because that's the piece we need next. Oops. So we're going to poke our ribbon through the hole at the top of the card now, and then just bring it up so that it's even and flat. So even at the top, and it's flat, it lays flat. I'm going to pop that on one side for now because we are then going to actually stamp our insert. So I'm going to stamp my insert using, ooh, I don't know what that was that fell on the floor down there. Something I hope I don't need. In Mossy Meadow, Balmy Blue and black, because I'm going to put this little aeroplane, some clouds, and my happy birthday. So my happy birthday is going to go in Mossy Meadow. So we'll pop him on first. In the middle, and then I'll close that up so I don't get ink everywhere. I'm going to then just pop one of these little aeroplanes wherever you like, or if I mean, you can do this whichever way you like, so you don't need to put planes on here if you don't. I'm not going to colour that plane in because it's too small. And then I'm going to use the Balmy Blue just to put a couple of clouds. We want to make sure we've got space to write our message in, and done it in Balmy Blue because it's so light, you're not going to, if you write over it, it's not going to hurt. Alright, so we're going to pop these two pieces together, which is our insert. Let's pop the pin back in there because of this weather. And oops, we've glued those two pieces together. Now we're going to bring back in our card, and what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we open this card up like so we can see inside, and that our ribbon is still sitting in between. And we want it in between because we want to push our insert in to the card, and we want to see the ribbon is moving down, and that's why we want to do it evenly so that the ribbon is still the same length or as close as can be. Alright, once we're happy with that, we're going to tie this off. Just tie it in one single bow for a moment and just check that that's going to pull up and down. If you find that it's not going up and down quite right, you check your ribbon. That's correct, so we're now going to tie that off into another knot, like so. So we've got quite a nice tight knot there, and we can trim our ribbon to whatever length we want. Right, can go in the bin. So now our ribbon will pull up like this. Now we can actually pull that up far enough so we can get it out to write on it if we don't want to write on it while it's in there. Okay, and this will stand up. Let me assure you, it will stand up like so. Or if you wanted to display it open, it will stand up displayed open. That's why I've done the longer stand at the back, because that way it is actually going to stand up if you wanted to display it open, and it does lay flat to go into an envelope. Alright, so we're going to bring in our front pieces now, and I'm going to stamp my front one in Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to stamp my words. So I'm going to work out where I'm going to put this. Do I put him down the bottom and put the words at the top? Or do I put him at the top and put the words at the bottom? I think I'm going to put the words at the bottom there. That's not on there very straight. I'm going to put the words at the bottom. Okay. Then I'm going to pop that out of the way. Get my Mossy Meadow. My Balmy Blue. And I will put some clouds all over this. Like so. And I'm going to glue these two pieces together now. Okay, let's pop my pin in my glue because I'm not going to need any more glue. And we'll bring in some dimensionals. Now I've got all these packs with a few on them. So I'll bring these in and use them all up. And pop this into the middle of the front of our card, like so. You can glue that down flat, but I'm actually going to put him up on a few dimensionals as well. So need some small ones. Have I got any small ones here? Oh, here we go. There we go, we've got them on there, so we'll pop our plain into the middle of our card like so. And then I have these, what they're called industrial trinkets. So if I can get them open, I don't want to spill them all over the table. And I'm going to have to use some glue dots to put these on with, so let's see. I'll pop the glue dot on there and then pop this on here, another glue dot there, if I can grab the trinket. Pop that one just there, and one more. And that one can just go there. So that is our card for today. What do you think? I hope you've enjoyed that. It's a really lovely card. It sits up nicely like so. It will come up so that it will stand, so that you've got it open if you wanted, the person wanted to display it open, so that you can see the inside of the card. And I've done that as a man's card. There's my two Christmas versions, and again they all stand exactly the same way, and standing up, stand up. This one's drunk, I think. There we go, like so. So if you've enjoyed today's card and you'd like the written tutorial for this, head down below here to DieStem for Stampin' Crafting and Tutorials. That's my Facebook group, and you can join the group. It's free to join. All you do is answer the question. Please, if you don't answer the question, I'm not going to allow you to join, and I am going to get very, very strict on it with the new year for sure. So I've had a few people that don't. If you're already a member and you invite somebody else to become a member, that's a different thing altogether, because somebody else has invited them, and they don't answer the question because somebody else has invited them. But if you're new and you haven't answered the question, I'm sorry, but I will not be accepting you into the group. I'd love you to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I do answer all the comments, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.